The story of H.U.G Bakery is that I found out I couldn't tolerate gluten, and I've always been an entrepreneur. I had my own tea business, the tea room, and but then I thought I need to make a gluten-free bakery, and I just started this really small place. So it's because of my own needs. I couldn't find a nice gluten-free product, and especially not one that was organic, and I wanted to do something about that. So that's why I started this place. And there's been a lot of people helping me along the way. So I started in this really small place, and it was called Mette Marie's Kitchen. And then there was one of the regulars, a customer came in called Catherine, and she also baked gluten-free and baked the sourdough, and we talked a lot about baking. And then one day I said, do you want to have the bakery with me? And she was like, yeah, I do. And so we had the bakery together for like 7 years. And it's actually because of her that we got to move into Copenhagen, because she was like, we should go to Copenhagen, Mette Marie. I was like, I know. And it's like, oh, it's expensive, and what can we do? And then her ex-husband was like, I'm gonna help you ladies. So he helped us get a bank loan and stuff like that, and we came into Copenhagen. And then a couple of years ago, she went out of the business, and my brother came in a little bit, and my boyfriend. So I haven't done things alone, and it's really nice that to have some helpers along the way. So I have always baked since I was a little kid. My mom has always baked a lot, so that's what we did together. We baked cakes and stuff. So I died a little when I found out I couldn't tolerate gluten. It was like, how am I gonna bake? What am I gonna do? So I started finding all the recipes I could on the internet and in books, and went to the libraries, and a lot of the recipes out there are really bad. So my family had these like very dry buns for a couple of years, until I suddenly kind of cracked the code on the ratio of the water and the psyllium husk, because you have to have a binder in gluten. There's like, gluten is a binder in baking, and since it's gluten-free, there's no natural binder in the product. So you have to add something for it to stick together and to be a bread. And one of the good things to use is a psyllium husk, which will glue everything together. And so it's I guess with gluten-free baking, you cannot really just like put something into a ball and turn it around. You kind of have to be a little bit precise with what you put in, because if you're not, you can end up with something that's really not very nice. So here is buckwheat buns right now. But the first couple of years was a little bit tough, and I worked a lot, and I live in Elsinore, so I have like an hour to work. So I got up in the I got up in the morning at a little bit to 4 to come in here in the bakery. And when you open a place yourself, it was a lot of hours work, because you're the one in charge for everything. So I was baking the bread, and I was helping in the shop, and so my shift has always been a little bit crazy long, because I was answering the phone and doing everything. Now things are beginning to run more smoothly. I've had my brother in to help. He has a lot of businesses, and he's really good at optimizing stuff. And so now things are getting a little bit more optimized. And I'm a very creative person, so there was a lot of things to clean up and optimize. So when we kind of did the renovation, we also had things a little bit more structured, which is really nice. So that actually means that I do have more time now, and I can begin to develop more recipes. And I have some books I want to do, because I just made one book with a friend of mine, and now I'm gonna make some more books, because that's where my passion is developing recipes and writing them so people can bake them and get a nice result at home. Of course, the flours can differ from country to country, and we know sometimes when we get like a new flour, the product will be different. So sometimes all of a sudden it's more dry because we got another rice flour than what we usually have. So that's one of the, I guess that's one of the issues, is that the products can change, and you know, we get a lot of things from a lot of different vendors because we're gluten-free and organic, and all of our flours has to be that as well. So we don't have like one place that has everything. We have to buy from a lot of different places. So that's one of the challenges with the gluten-free, and all of a sudden there's been some times when we couldn't get like a crucial product, like rice flour was just not on the market, or everybody was sold out, or psyllium husk as well. And that's not very funny when that happens. But that's one of the things with gluten-free and organic, because we have an extra thing in the organic thing, and that kind of makes it a little bit harder sometimes to get the raw materials. So right now we're getting the ingredients from different vendors in Europe, and some in Denmark, of course. And how did I find them? I just started, because the bakery started so small, I just started with these little small 1 kilo bags. And I found there was a Danish vendor that had a lot of the flours I liked. So I had these, so it has just been growing now, and we have these big sacks. It's always like, oh, there's a pallet outside. Okay, let's go out and take it in. So there's some crust fitting involved in having a bakery. So when you look around this bakery, you can see we have very many of these buckets with flour, and that's because each bread has a lot of different ingredients in them. So this is like buckwheat flour, and we have very many. So we use like buckwheat, we use sorghum, we use millet, we use rice flour, and we have both whole grain rice and white rice. Then we have a lot of seeds, of course. We also have quinoa flour, and then we have some starches for some of the finer bakes. I usually don't put much starch in the daily bread because the starch is not good for you. It's something, can be nice to getting a nice consistency in the gluten-free things. So in some cakes and stuff, it's kind of needed to be nice. But I think the daily bread, you should avoid having too much starch. So it's actually only one bun that has a little bit of starch, and this is the Italian bun that we have right here. And then we also use teff flour. It's from Africa. So there is a lot of naturally gluten-free grains out there that you can take with, and that's really nice. Gluten-free bread is a little bit more, what we say, a little bit more moist inside. Some people, when they associate gluten-free bread with dry, very dry, and that's because of all the bad recipes out there. That there is some really dry gluten-free bread. Our breads are not so dry; they're a little bit more moist. So when you cut it with a knife, there will be some stickiness on the knife, and you're like, oh, it's not baked, but it is baked. It's just a little bit more sticky. But it also means that it will last for many days. So like a gluten-free loaf can be fresh for like 5 days or something, where if you buy like a wheat loaf, it might get a little bit boring pretty fast. I'm most proud of our breads. I actually think our breads are really, really nice. They're a little bit heavy, but you really get value for money. You get like full when you eat a bun. So a bun is like a meal, and I think that's a good thing. I think today we're like eating too much air and too much, and then you get hungry very fast. So for me, I think it's very good that you have like a nutritious bread. So I'm very proud of our breads. But then I'm also very proud of the croissants, which we had a little bit of help with. And I did promise Pierre that I would not share the recipe, so it's a secret recipe, and I have so many people asking about the croissants, but I can't share it. I made a vow not sharing it. So, but it's really nice, and that's something a lot of people are really happy about when they come visit us. It's like they can have a croissant, which they haven't had for 10 years or whatnot. So we're gonna make those a little bit later, and you can see how we make them. So the typical guests that we have like a lot of regulars, because it's not that easy to get gluten-free bread in Denmark yet. We had there was like one bakery that has like a little bit of gluten-free, and then we have had no competition here for 5 years, almost. But now there is a couple of other gluten-free bakeries opening. So there's a little bit more variety for people to go find, and that's really nice, you know, when you can eat gluten. But we have a lot of regulars that comes and buy our breads, especially our rye breads. It's like people come every couple of days and buy a loaf. And then we also have a lot of tourists from around the world coming to Copenhagen. And I think it's from the app Go Find Me Gluten-Free, where people find us and they come. So like in all the summer and stuff, we're really busy actually. Usually in a bakery, it goes down in the summer. You're not so busy, but we're really busy in the summer. But that's with coffee and pastries and buttered buns and stuff like that. Well, the hardest part of running a bakery, I remember when I told my mother I'm gonna open a bakery, and she was like, "Oh, darling, all the cleaning and the dishwashing you have to do." Because actually being a baker, there's like you kind of bake half time and you clean half time, right? So there's a lot of things you have to do all the time. But I was like, yeah, I can do it. So I just jumped out into it, and I haven't regretted it. But I have also had I've been really stressed in periods where I just had to work many hours, and also because I'm not super structured. I'm a creative person, and all of a sudden I had all these employees, right? And I've had that before with the tea room and tea business. I was like, I don't want to have employees again. So that's why I actually started with just me, the bakery, no one helping me. And then after 6 months, I was like, okay, I might need somebody. And all of a sudden I had a lot of employees again. So there's a lot of things you do running a bakery that's not related to baking. And that's a hard part about it, I think, because baking is what I love. But there is you have employees, and you have the food legislation coming by, and you have taxes, and you have there's so many things. Well, I hope in 5 years from now that we have more bakeries, because I still think there is a need for some lovely gluten-free organic bread out there. And I am actually dreaming of opening a bakery in Paris. Because I went to Paris and I tried all the gluten-free bakeries, and I didn't think they were quite as nice as what we can do. So I would think that would be funny to open up in another country as well. So I don't know, maybe we'll do some franchise. There's often some people writing oh, I really love your bakery, we should open one in Seattle or in California or whatever. And, so maybe there's a lot of possibilities really, and we have to choose what to do. So there's one thing I would like people to know about gluten-free, is that it doesn't have to be tasteless, it doesn't have to be boring, because most people are like, oh, gluten-free, I hate that. And in the beginning when we moved here, we didn't write gluten-free out on the facade because we wanted people to come in and see what we had, and discover that they can actually eat what we have and that it tastes nice. Gluten-free vegan cinnamon roll, naturally sweet, made with date filling. And I've been making this since I opened up in Fredensborg. So for the last 10 years, this has been a hit. So it's kind of the H.U.G cinnamon roll kind of. We always have it, and it's really good, and I love it. And there's a lot of people coming with all kinds of different allergies, and it's really nice because this is nut-free, it's dairy-free, it's egg-free, and it's sugar-free, right? Because it's with dates. So we try to have some products for everybody. And there's always at least one product people can eat when they come in here. So what makes me feel most proud about owning this bakery is all the response I get from the customers. I get so many nice little comments on Instagram, and so many happy people coming in here. They come into the bakery and what do you have that's gluten-free? And we're like, everything is gluten-free. And I'm like, wow, oh my God, give me a minute, I have to choose. Oh wow, I can choose between all these things. That makes me really, really happy, because then I've made a difference in somebody's life. My employees and me have made a difference, and people go out really happy and they buy 5 things, and they haven't been able to do that for years. So it's it's great.
Okay. So we are Italian. We are from Italy, and we have to found this location on internet, so on TikTok. And I'm celiac since when I was 16 years old, and this is paradise to me. I proved that croissant or pain au chocolat, so the ingredients are so good and the taste is so good. Okay, the cinnamon roll, I think that is the most good food that I eat here. The croissant too, because it's light and the flavor is very, very good. I recommend this place to other people because it's so organic and special to the celiac people, but not only.
Yeah, so I can't tolerate gluten, and it's just I think it's the best bakery in Copenhagen if you want something gluten-free, for sure. I love the rugbrød. I think it's amazing. I used to be able to eat gluten many years ago, 14 years ago, and I still remember the taste of normal rugbrød. But the rugbrød they make here is just really good, and I don't miss the regular at all. So I think that's probably my favorite. Definitely, if you can't tolerate gluten and you haven't been here, then you're really missing out. I think it's just going into a candy shop as a child when you're here, because you can't really believe that there are so many options for you when we're usually so limited.
And I will also say, as one that can tolerate gluten, it's also a good place to come as well. It's also very delicious for one tolerating gluten.
But also cozy. I mean, when you come in, it's usually the same faces you meet, and you get a really nice smile. And you know, now we've been here so many times, so you kind of know the people that work here. And I think that also just great customer service, really amazing customer service. Yeah.